Hello everyone, how you doing? Stompar Gamer here, doing another pilot reviews video. This one is on the Drake Caterpillar, which is currently the largest cargo ship we have in the game, other than the 890 Jump, I believe. Now the 890 Jump is not a cargo ship. It is, it's for jumping around the verse with your friends in a pool. That being said, it is, I believe, also broken in the verse as far as the amount of cargo it carries. But right now the Cat is, the biggest we got, and it shows. I mean, she's a big girl, very long. She's roughly, I think, 10 meters shorter than what's coming soon, which is the Anvil Carrack. I can't wait to do that ship review. But again, as you look at the the Caterpillar, not Kraken, Caterpillar, it's a very industrial looking ship. Everything from, you'll see where the Caterpillar name came from. It's the legs for the landing gear. And it does look a little bit like a Caterpillar as far as the shape. It definitely brings that to mind. It has a few aerodynamic aspects. It's got kind of a lifting wing on the left, perhaps. But it's also got some very interesting intricacies. You've got the engines in the back here, 4 very large, powerful engines. You've got some retro thrusters in the front, which are hard to see, kind of back there. And you've got a command pod off to the side. So the pilot is actually sitting on this left side, off center of the main center of the ship. So what you're doing is you're kind of flying it from the left-hand side, which is, it's asymmetric and it's a little strange, and it will take a little getting used to as far as entering hangars and some landing onto those pads, etc. But once you do get the hang of it, you do tend to forget it. And eventually this pod, so if you see where that red line is on the left, is going to separate off the ship, and you're going to have a little like escape ship to fly away. It's the only Drake ship that actually kind of has like an escape method. So if pirates attack you, can say, you know what, guys? See you later. I'm out of here. And just leave your cargo for them to play with. On the inside, as we look around, you're going to see the very similar setup of we've seen in like some of the larger ships, the two-handed grip on the control yoke. So you got yaw, left and right, and roll. So now here we've got completely set. So we remember we just finished doing a review of both the Starfarer and the Constellation, handling this in a very different way. Constellation roll and yaw with the same darn movement, and on the Starfarer, this movement was your yaw, which made sense. You're pushing with your left hand, so you're going to yaw to the right. You're pushing with your right hand, you're going to yaw to the left. But here it's your roll. I'm not sure, again, that muscle memory will kind of pitch in, but you use roll more than yaw, honestly, especially in atmosphere. I just don't think that reversing these two for just this ship makes a lot of sense. So that's a complaint I have with the Caterpillar as far as the way the controls are handled. The HUD is the same as any other ship you're going to see in the verse. It's pretty much just, your screens. You got your Drake, very simplistic radar there, but the same HUD with your speed, your quantum fuel, hydrogen fuel, flares, Gs, gear up, gear down. There's no escape between your legs because you just have the pod. Eventually, we're going to assume that there is a way to separate from the external, but right now there isn't. The only options you have down here is power on, power off, engine on, engine off, spool quantum. That's it. There should be there we go, open exterior, but again, it's not really associated with any button that I can see. So again, that's all we've got. Now let's go over the actual handling of this very large ship, mind you. Carries more cargo than the Starfarer, is longer than the Starfarer, is much longer than the Constellation, and as such, we would assume not as maneuverable. So let's see, roll. Very slow, again, would make sense. Large ship, and also with the thruster design on the ship, and being piloted from this angle, you would also assume you're going to take a penalty on roll. Let's look at yaw. Let's actually find something to aim at. that'll work better. We'll use the sun. Blind the viewers. Yes, Stompar is a great streamer, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so we're going to come around. You can actually see your thrusters on the main fuselage there as we come around. I'm going to stop roll at the sun. It overshot just like the Constellation, but by a lot less. Constellation did it by almost, what, 45 degrees. Alright, we're going to do pitch. We're going to do up. We'll stop just below the sun. And stop. Again, pitch overshot, but again, by less than the Constellation. You still got, the same 4 big guns, pilot controlled, but having actually fought in the Constellation and fought in the Caterpillar, I would choose the Constellation over the Caterpillar in space for combat. I hate to say it, but it handles better than the much smaller Constellation. Alright, we're going to go ahead and go somewhere on the surface. Let's go HMS Thetis? Yeah, that'll work. I'm more or less just picking these destinations at random. Because the main point is just to get into atmosphere, because that's what quantum will do for you. Is it Thetis? Yeah, Thetis. That's a good name for it. Alright, so we'll make sure we're at about 8,000 meters, which is the same as we're using for the Constellation. And again, we still have the same only pitch. We don't have any directional indication as we fly in atmosphere, which is again something I really hope CIG fixes. Go ahead and check acceleration towards the planet. Kind of slow. Check deceleration. Again, acceleration, deceleration is better than you would see in the Constellation. We'll do the same thing we did with the Connie, the inverted roll. And then a partial loop. Started at about 9. So we lost about 600-700 feet, but again, still better than the Constellation. And we'll go to 0, we'll level out our flight path vector. Alright, pretty close to not descending or climbing. 90 degrees. Now look at that. The Drake Caterpillar, longer than the Starfarer, longer than the Constellation, holding altitude just fine at 0 degrees and 90 degrees bank, similar to the Aero. Thrusters are still far aft. There's no reason, aerodynamically, this is still, for all intents and purposes, a flying brick with an off-centered wing on one side. So no real explanation as to why. Hell, I could probably climb. I can climb on my side in a very large Caterpillar. It doesn't make sense to me why this should be a thing. Again, I like it, right? I like how this ship handles. It handles better than the Constellation. It handles better than the Starfarer. It carries more than both of those ships. I could dare say I could fight with this ship. You know, it does pretty well. It's got some good turrets, good combat. I could probably keep, you know, something like a Starfarer easily in target and attack it and then take its cargo easily. You know, when in fact they should be more evenly matched. This is how larger ships, I think, should handle an atmosphere. It's still slow. It's still sluggish. But these thrusters all over the ship are doing what they're supposed to and maintaining the ship at its attitude. See them firing down there on the bottom? That's how we're maintaining our pitch. That's how we're maintaining altitude. We have the main engines pushing us forward. We have the thrusters maintaining attitude. That is how a spaceship should work. And it doesn't currently work that way in the game. And that is troublesome. I don't like it, and I hope they fix that. I think the Starfarer should handle similarly to the Caterpillar, and the Aquila constellation should handle a little bit better. But again, the oversteer and understeer on the Caterpillar is closer to a constellation, which is a much smaller ship, than it is to the Starfarer, which is more in the size category you would expect. You shouldn't be able to dogfight in a Caterpillar, I agree, and you can't dogfight in this ship, but you can fight a darn sight better than you can in the Constellation, and it puts the Starfarer to shame. So again, I would like to see this. For me, the Caterpillar is the best large ship in game as far as handling. As far as cockpit layout, it's your standard Drake ship, but again, I do find the reversal of yaw and roll a little strange and an interesting choice on the part of CIG. Again, that's about all I got for this ship. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.